we have to credit President Ruto for this one thing, although it was not his primary intention. He has managed to get all of us involved. Not long ago, there was a class of people in this country who thought politics doesn't matter to them. But right now, whether you're in the corporate space, you know the kind of taxes people are getting to pay. Whether you're a common mwananchi, something like healthcare, kitu kama NHIF, right now in the new SHA system, you have to like pay 4 months upfront. Yani, it doesn't matter where you are. Lazima kila mtu ameguswa na presidency ya Ruto. And I think we are almost having a common denominator of anger fueled by suffering. Ni hayo tu.
Our main issue is the economy, and what I can advise is that make sure that your candidate akiingia 2027, 2028 you will not be here saying if it's Kalonzo must go or Gachagua must go. This time round it's not trial and error. We have to get it right. So I want to respond to Aden Duale. Aden Duale today was saying that Linda Mama was good, but now wamekuja na initiative ngine that now teenage mothers watakuwa wanazaa free. So a teenager is somebody from 13 to 19. Sasa hao ndo wamepewa free delivery. That tells the mediocrity in this government. So we want to tell Aden Duale, you are among the people who have contributed to the problems of this nation. You and John Mbadi. In 2014, John Mbadi and Aden Duale went to parliament and brought a bill that loans borrowed by the government of Kenya can be banked in an offshore account instead of coming to the exchequer account. And because of that, they managed to borrow Eurobond 1 and 2, which was up to $2 billion. And this money was banked in JP Morgan Chase Bank. And this is the money that has caused the economy iko mbaya sahi, because sahi in each 100 shillings yenye unatoa kama tax, 70 bob inaenda kwa deni. So meaning the government inabaki na 30 bob. Like last month, the government of Kenya collected 257 billion Kenyan shillings, but they paid a debt of around almost 260 billion. So meaning munasanya 257, munalipa deni 260. Munabaki na nini? Are you now understanding why maisha imekuwa ngumu? The government cannot sustain. So make sure the person you are going to vote for has not benefited from the loans taken, odious debts taken. And the other thing I can say, make sure that the person you are going to vote for atakataa kulipa hiyo deni. Wale wenye walikula pesa ya Wakenya, that now we are going to pay for money yenye we cannot see what it did. So I can encourage our fellow Kenyans that this time let's try to deviate from tribal politics and enhance politics of issue. Asante sana, karibu kwenye bunge la mwananchi kikao 045.
Asante sana kwa kuongea. What is the problem that Kenyans are talking about every day? When a parent complains about his inability to pay school fees, what is the reason? When you struggle to even afford basic medical care, what is the reason? When you have to choose between paying bus fare to go to work or buy your child something to eat, what is really the issue? It's not about who are you against or who are you for. What are the issues that affect the Kenyan people? And which kind of country would you like your children and your grandchildren to inherit from you? That's why I talk about economic liberty, which is the ultimate liberty. That it's about the power in your pocket that speaks at the end of the day. I am sure there are people who like to be here today, but they are not here because they couldn't even afford bus fare. And they will wait for these videos. It's about the economy in your pocket. And they were asking questions. Why is it that we are struggling to even maintain our day-to-day lives, affording the basic things that help us live our lives on a daily basis? I look at the government policies, and one of the reasons why I am categorized as one of the very fierce critics of the current regime is that there are things we are doing as a government that are negatively affecting the lives of the people. I keep talking about the issue of debt, like Jagero has mentioned. How does debt affect our lives? It might seem like a very big topic that doesn't concern you, but it affects you even if you are in that slum called Nyalenda and the other one lives in Ketisuru in Nairobi. And this is how it affects you. In this year alone, we have a budget of 4.3 trillion in this financial year. Our estimated domestic revenue streams are at 2.5, 2.8 if we have to be very generous. That's the money that we are going to raise with our own taxes, VAT, customs duty, and all that. We are going to raise like 2.8 trillion. The public debt in this financial year is going to consume 2 trillion, almost half of our budget. In our internal revenue streams, we are only going to remain with 800 billion. Government operations per year cost around 600 billion. Salaries for government cost around 400 billion. Only those two, we already have a deficit of 200 billion. We have not talked about counties that consume almost 415 billion. Where are we going to raise the money to finance our budget? The government will resolve to use two things: tax you more and borrow more, because we will have to finance a deficit of more than 1 trillion shillings. As I speak to you, the government has a public debt of almost 12. At the end of this financial year, it will be 13. It means that as we continue, the pain will only increase, because the government will only opt to use those two ways to raise money, which is taxing you. When a government decides to tax you, they are going to raid your pay slip if you are employed. They are going to raise levies. Petrol will go high. When petrol goes high, it affects you because owners of matatus will have to fill that deficit, what increase fare, and all this, everything goes up. So we're asking ourselves, even as we make noise about the current regime, what is it that the next government that is coming that must do? That favorite candidate that you have in your head for presidency, what is he coming to do different? In my party, and the party of Safina, my presidential candidate is talking about 5 things that are coming to make life a little bit easier. Very revolutionary moves. Issue number 1, we call it the fist agenda. The fist has 5 fingers. Finger number 1, as I finish, because I only have 10 minutes, is not paying the odious debt. And people are asking, like, we took this debt, how can we fail to pay? In our Constitution, chapter 12, for those of you who love reading, is about public finance. And according to our Constitution, a government should only borrow for development. And the borrowing of government must be approved by Parliament. And the borrowed money must come in through the consolidated fund. So any amount of money that was not pegged on a development agenda, was not approved by Parliament, did not come through the consolidated fund, it's an illegal debt, we are not going to pay. That's issue number one. Issue number two, zero domestic borrowing by government. When a government borrows locally, they are coming for money in the open market. How do they access the money in the open market? The money in the open market is found in banks, pension funds, and insurance companies. When a government borrows locally at an interest rate of 16.39%, how much will that bank be willing to lend to a private individual like you? It will be almost 20%, which makes it very exorbitant for you to do what? To access a loan. Banks made profit by lending the money they have. They do a business of selling money. So when they have a big customer called the government, they will be unwilling to lend to you because the risk of lending to you is higher than lending to government. It's almost 100% sure that the government will repay the loan. Where as we speak right now, we have almost 600 billion non-performing loans, which means Kenyans have defaulted. When we stop government from borrowing locally, the banks will be stranded with money. They need to make profit for their shareholders, which means they need to lend it to someone. That someone is you and me. We will begin witnessing events like banks pitching tents in front of churches, in marketplaces, wakikwambia tafadhali kuja uchukue hii loan, like it used to happen when Kibaki was president. Ungeona tent ya Equity Bank almost everywhere. Agenda number 3 is free healthcare. When I get time, I'll talk more about it. Agenda number 4 is free education. Agenda number 5, reduction of VAT from 16% to 5% sales tax. When I say 5% sales tax, I mean that if you are not selling tangible goods, you are not charged 15%. Like law firms, you are not going to pay VAT. This will increase businesses and flow of cash among the people, and the problem of lacking cash in our pockets will be done. That's the real issues. So when I raise questions about how President Ruto is doing his own things, I have more than 1 million reasons. Thank you very much. My name is Joachim.
Hi Kenyans, mi sina maneno mingi. All I want to say is Ruto must go, like yesterday. Bye.
Ati black chocolate ni fine melanin bana kutoka nikapate. Kanapenda kenye mi wanapenda, so kanapenda toto chupa na haga nono.
Madam na kudai, umedunga mini na unapenda mangwai. Una dance fit, unawacha nikismile. Ama niko high, jua lies nice.
Kono moja mbele, ngine yende rembe. Pile up, yoni.
Enyewe, Ruto must go. Enyewe, Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go. Enyewe, Ruto must go. Wash fire, Ruto must go. Enyewe, Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go.